Riley.
Hang on, we're on a topic.
Okay.
Is there any evidence that supports the assertion that a gyroscope has got a centre of vertical axis that points to the centre of the Earth? Jazz?
No, there's...
Bless you.
So it's an assumption that a gyroscope is pointing to the centre of the Earth, right?
Well, no, it's not an assumption.
Well, how do you prove it's pointing to the centre of the Earth and it's not just pointing down?
Well, how do you prove it's not?
There is no down on Earth.
Wait a minute. What we have to understand is you've made a claim that the gyroscope, you've explained that a gyroscope always points to the centre of the Earth. So I don't understand that. Can you explain that to me, how that happens? And can you show me some evidence of it? How do you prove it? Explain that. How do you prove it's point?
You could stand on a you could take your front wheel off your mountain bike and then hold the each shafts of the spinning wheel of your mountain bike vertically and then spin the wheel clockwise and then tilt it to the left and right, and you'll want to tilt the opposite ways, and you stop it and spin it the opposite way, and you can tilt it and you spin the opposite way again. It's gyroscopic precision.
Right, what happens if I start that gyroscope? Say I put that gyroscope at a 45-degree angle and start it spinning. Is that pointing to the centre of the Earth?
No.
Right, so what you're saying then, how can you prove it's pointing to the centre? Because I've just got a gyroscope, it's at a different angle, but you've seen a gyroscope will spin straight down and it will be pointing to the centre of the Earth, because it does that always to the centre of the Earth.
Once you spin it up and tilt it and equalise it, that you're not moving anywhere back or forth, left or right, then the vertical shaft of that, the vertical axis of that wheel is pointing at the centre of the Earth.
Yeah, but doesn't it have to? Isn't it when you start it up, whatever position you start it up, and it tries to maintain that position?
No, because when you're starting it, there's no gyroscopic position. There's nothing to start.
Right. All right. Let's just give him that. The axis points to the centre of the Earth. We'll give him that one. Can you show us any part of a gyroscope that actually has an indicator that points to what you call the centre of the Earth? We'll give you it, but can you give us the point? Show us where the gyroscope has got any reference to what you call the centre of the Earth, assuming that it exists. We'll give you that it exists, but what's the thing inside the gyroscope that points to? In other words, like the finger that points to it. Where is the mechanism inside any gyroscope? It would be worth considering John Savage's work. He stripped open attitude indicators.
No, and this will be great because you won't take it. But any vertical spinning shaft in a artificial horizon in any general aviation airplane or a commercial airplane.
Yeah, but what I'm asking you is there any evidence inside any of them that shows a part of it that points towards the centre of the Earth? So a physical part of the gyroscope that points towards it? Because then my next question is, okay, you found one, how is it controlled? But that's you have to establish that there's one factually there first.
Well, see, this is a thing where you have the edge over for no reason at all. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Alan.
Please don't
I didn't
swear.
say that.
Try not to swear, Jazz.
Jazz,
Sorry, Nathan, I didn't say it.
What were you bumbling out then? You weren't making coherent much sense there, you know. Say it again.
No, what I was saying was, can you prove otherwise?
Yes, I can prove that there is absolutely nothing inside a gyroscope or an attitude indicator that points to the centre of the Earth. Nothing at all. There is a 3-axis gimbal, and there is no indication whatsoever of anything that points to the centre of the Earth. And even if there was,
there's a mass perpendicular to the rotational shaft of the gyro that proves gyroscopic precision.
Okay, can you show that? because I can show you that it doesn't.
How can I show you that?
Is there anywhere where
wire
you've
up a
seen it that you
gyroscope,
would
let
be able
it
to-
spin, and measure the precession. It's very simple. It's been demonstrated not to happen by John Savage.
Yeah, John Savage has pulled open a gyroscope, and there is absolutely nothing inside of it that is mechanical, electronic, or otherwise that points to any reference point whatsoever, be it the center of the Earth or the North Star or whatever. There is nothing inside. There is just a 3-axis gimbal, and there is no points of reference to it.
Did John Savage, if there's nothing that can prove it, did he balance a mass 90 degrees perpendicular to the point of rotation?
Yeah, he didn't balance them. No, what he did was he's done numerous tests. One of the best tests he did was he stuck it on a clock mechanism, and the clock mechanism span. It was a 24-hour clock instead of a 12-hour clock, and it span at 15 degrees every hour, which is coincidentally the same rotation as the Earth does in 1 hour as well, and it recorded 15 degrees. So he showed that it is capable and did record 15 degrees of movement in an hour. But when you don't put it on the clock mechanism, it don't move, which indicates strongly that we are not moving. So my question is, if John, I mean, are you familiar with John Savage? Do you know his work?
I'm
going to guess no.
Alan Turing done great
Okay.
work in 1940. No, I'm not specific with his work.
All right. Well, the Ball Earth guy that does the same kind of work is Wolfie 6020. Miles Davis has just plugged him in chat. You should go and look at some of his just for just to help you with what you see inside of it from a Ball Earther's point of view. But then when you go to John Savage's channel and look at what he does and shows the test that he does, you'll realize that Wolfie's just literally, it's rhetoric only from Wolfie, and he doesn't prove anything that John Savage proves, and he doesn't recreate John Savage's work. You know, it proves that we are not spinning and that they do not follow the curvature of the Earth.
Well, that Wolfie, he plays with plastic aeroplanes. That Wolfie, he plays with plastic aeroplanes as an example.
I'm not sure I would, but hey, fellas, is there any chance of getting Wolfie in the chat?
All are welcome. I don't know if Wolfie watches this show. Please share the show.
Oh, no, I just thought somebody said Wolfie was.
No, Wolfie is a Ball Earther.
This is why I plug people to share. Share. Then people like Wolfie may get to see and join. The link is open to everyone.
He's also a qualified pilot.
Sure, and I'm sure Wolfie would be able to show you the insides of a gyroscope and point out specifically the reference point that you claim is there on the vertical axis that points to the center of the Earth. And I'd challenge Wolfie to do that live. I mean, I don't think he'll come on here, but
I'm sure if he wants to come on, we'd have a great yarn. I might have got it cocked up. I haven't flown for 9 years, but
I would assert that Wolfie wouldn't come on, not because he whatever, but because he wouldn't be able to demonstrate that there is a pointing reference on the vertical axis inside a gyroscope, which would be a problem for following the center of the Earth.
Isn't the fact that it's vertical the reason?
Pardon?
It's vertical.
What's vertical? What's vertical and what point are you making?
It's vertical.
That's the same thing you've said 3 times now. You need a little bit more, like an adjective.
Or a noun. I'll have a consonant, please.
Few other little constituent parts of a sentence, basically, Alan.
Don't be rude, Nathan. It doesn't become you.
Yes, that was an excellent example of a sentence, Alan.
Shall I give you another one? Anthony, go back and get the air temperature, water temperature, and air pressure.
Why? There's no evidence.
We can
I'll tell you why, Alan. I'll tell you why, Sleeping Warrior. Go back and get them because Alan needs them to explain why something that is not there on his model is actually there in a photograph. That's why he wants you to get them because his model can't account for the things being there that are there. On his model, he wants to talk over me now. This horrible detail is reiterated again that on his model, it's geometrically not there. You can't see it.
No.
It's physically not there.
Listen.
Nathan,
Listen.
if I went back
So
to get
he
the
needs
observation-
air temperature readings so he
Listen.
can account for it with a band-aid theory. Because at the moment, they have this band-aid theory, but they've provided no
Listen.
evidence to actually back up their slightly looming non-standard refraction fantasy.
Now, scientifically, if he goes back and collects them, you would be able to eliminate the possibility, not the claim, of non-standard refraction.
Yeah, that claim isn't necessary to be dismissed because geometrically what we see is not there. That's a fact, regardless of whether or not you can account for it with refraction. You want us to discount that refraction's bringing it back? No, thank you.
Yes,
That's
please.
okay, Alan. If you want to do that, be our guest. It's a bit like the Google Heights. If you want to debunk Google, be our guest. If you want to claim that slightly looming non-standard refraction is a plausible account for why something that is physically not there is in a camera shot, then that's fine. You can prove that if you choose. We don't have to go and disprove your claim and your assertion that the geometric impossible item to see is there because of air temperature readings. That's your fantasy. You can feel free to prove that fantasy with some evidence rather than just assert it as fact. Yeah, of course it's slightly looming because it's not there. We can't see it. If it wasn't slightly looming, we wouldn't be able to see it. Well, that's just a crap excuse, a band-aid theory for a geometric fact. The geometric fact that the lighthouse is not there on your sphere.
Just go back and do the job properly.
What, the job that accounts for it not being there? We already know it's not there.
Don't have the readings, so you can't eliminate the possibility.
The readings are set in stone. The circle
No, they're not.
of the Earth is
You don't
measured.
have them.
The
You don't
circumference
have air
is
temperature. You don't have water temperature. You don't have
24,900
air
miles,
pressure.
Alan. That's a set figure. That's not changing anytime soon. Doesn't matter what Google represent it as. Doesn't matter what you think or believe. The fact is that lighthouse is not there. Geometrically impossible to be there. We don't have line of sight with it. It cannot be seen on your model. That is a fact. Some people, idiots, who want to believe they live on a sphere, deny that fact because they're idiots. Other idiots, like yourself, try and get other people who don't claim they live on a sphere to prove their band-aid theory for them so they can continue asserting their belief. That's what you want. Well, we're not going to give it to you, Alan. If you want to believe that it's looming, then you can believe it all you like. If you want to try and back up that claim with some evidence, that would be wonderful, but we're not going to do it for you. We don't need looming or refraction to account for this observation. We see it because it is there, because we do have line of sight. You have to account for the fact that it is not there on your model, because that is a geometric fact.
Nathan, mocking and making fun of refraction doesn't debunk it.
Yeah,
Nathan.
I didn't try and debunk refraction. I said on your model, fact, that lighthouse is not there. If the audience chooses to believe that it's being brought back from the other side of a hill by refraction, they are welcome to believe whatever they like. However, the fact remains. The lighthouse is not visible. It is not there. We do not have line of sight with it. That is a geometric fact. How you bring it back into sight is your own pathetic excuse for belief. And I don't care how you bring it back into vision. That's your fantasy, not mine.
Hey, Riley.
Can I ask you
Riley.
a question?
Riley.
Go on.
I've just seen that Miles has uploaded an apology to Runty. So are you prepared
Miles
to,
Miles needs to-
release the metadata?
The metadata was subject to two requests. One that was Al K and Miles released the evidence of Isle of Man in the form of the video that they took, which I don't believe they've done. And secondly, that Jeremy retracts his comments that I was in any way dishonest or indeed lying about my observer height when it was evidenced by the video I was referencing Google, which does actually put it at 35 feet. So until those things are happening, I don't need to release the EXIF data. It's
Well,
changing.
you've got one apology. Why not to release the metadata from one of the 3 videos?
I'm not interested in the apology to Ranty. I'm interested in Miles putting the video out or Al putting the video out that showed what he did get of Isle of Man, because that's really what they were trying to debunk. What did they get? That's
Is that
what
to
I
know
wanted to
then?
see.
Is that
That's
to
a no.
know?
That's a no.
No, it's a reassertion of the conditions that were laid down in order to release the metadata. Are you deaf?
No, he
No.
doesn't understand it. He thinks that the apology to Ranty in some way is the condition that's now accepted. And you have to remember that I'm not interested in the ranty apology in terms of the EXIF data that is falsifiable in any event and seeks only to try and cause me a hassle I don't need to have. Why would I release something that's falsifiable? It's just going to get instantly accused that I've falsified it.
Just do it on your machine. Make a video of it. You doing it on your machine.
And,
why would you tell lies? Do you tell lies, Anthony?
Nathan, Miles asks, how do you know the assertions about Mackle Lighthouse and how it's a geometric impossibility without knowing an accurate observer height? Would you address Miles specifically on how you know that there is an accurate observer height?
Even if you went up to a considerably higher distance, it still wouldn't be there, Miles. Simple.
Riley, are you going to stop calling Miles a liar now?
He is a liar.
No.
He said in the chat earlier, Alan, sorry, I'll just address this. He made it very clear that gathering accurate data was extremely important. He then later, within minutes, said that he had got estimations of very, very important data according to him. So,
yeah.
He's a liar. He lied.
He is a
according
liar.
To him, it's important to gather accurate data, but what he has actually gathered is estimations, not accurate data. The man is a liar.
The key point that Miles the Liar Davis has lied about is that he claimed he was at 40 feet of observer height when he claims that the elevation of the observer is really important and he really needs that information, yet claimed 40 feet and me and Ranty measured it at 29. So that is a lie. Miles claims that it was merely an estimate. Well, it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? Substantively in the favour of the ball earthers estimate. Put it that way. Yes, you did say that, Miles.
Giving an estimation after declaring how thoroughly important it is to get accurate measurements. How unbelievably dishonest.
So, Miles, you just literally, you lay in your own grave. We could make a video about the thing that you did say in this chat that I referenced about 15 minutes ago, and I read it verbatim. And then the comment afterwards where you basically said the exact opposite again. Again, Miles, you flip-flopped. You're dishonest, Miles. You're a liar. You are fundamentally, objectively zero, and you're just a nonsense baller that believes nonsense. You lie, Miles. Let you on so you can explain what you mean with more lies. I think Ali B might have actually kicked you before. You won't be able to join, Miles.
Yeah, you're welcome back tomorrow, Miles. Just sort your audio out before you come. If Alan B can manage it, you can manage it.
No, I won't lie. Miles, I don't think you understand what the truth is, Miles. You are totally dishonest, Miles. And I call you on it. I mean, you didn't even measure, you estimated your observer height at 40 feet. Me and Ranty looked at that and said, there is no way you're at higher than the elevated hill I was on. And it measured at 29. Miles, you are dishonest. I don't know how you could possibly put yourself at 40 feet, which is higher than the observer height that I was at, and you're on the triangle on the floor level. What are you talking about?
Anthony, did you include low tide in your height of 35 feet?
Well, according to your model, it's based on average mean height. Sorry,
it was
average
tide, though,
mean
wasn't
sea.
it?
Mean sea.
Sorry,
pictures.
Yeah. Say again.
It was low tide, though, wasn't it? You could see that in the pictures.
No, it was on its way down, but it wasn't at low tide.
Does one trust him?
Well, it's in the evidence. You can just look for yourself.
I would do if I had the videos. You won't release them.
There is a video taken from a 35 feet observation height that was dissected up and debated about and claimed to be 100 feet plus on multiple occasions by your side. We now have a position where there is a man who is a liar in the chat who has gone and got some estimations, but claims it's very important to have accurate data.
He's apologised. Stop calling him a liar.
He is a liar. He claims it's important to gather accurate data, but releases estimates. So by his own standards, he is a liar. He can estimate things when it's to his advantage. That's deceptive, therefore lies.
Nathan, I'm sharing my screen, mate. Would you present it to everyone so that they can see? So this is to quantify how dishonest Miles is. I can't remember which video it is, but go into his channel and look at it. You'll see it yourself in black and white, unless he removes it. Now, I put myself at this point here, which is about 33, 34, 35 feet. That's where I did my observation. Miles done an observation from this point here, which is at the top of this like pathway thing here, and he put himself at 40 feet. But even at 29 feet, which is the distance we measured him at, it still says on Google Earth 29 feet. Now, I didn't realize that it said that on Google Earth. I've just checked it to see what value it said on Google Earth to see why Miles put 40 feet. And the answer is it was 29 feet measured, and it was 29 feet when we at Google Earth. So again, Miles, if you've estimated that you were at 40 feet, why would you not put yourself at 29 feet like I did on your model? Because that is what your model predicts. I mean, is that not fundamentally dishonest? This is where Miles was. This is what, if I was there, I would have put 29 feet. And you know what? When me and Ranty went and measured it, it was exactly 29 feet.
Just want to
rounded it up to 30.
Just want to say something, just while we get off, just so we come off the subject of Miles the Liar Davis. So your claim is that these elevations are your elevations. The heights that were shown in the bottom right-hand corner, those were the heights that are being used, not Anthony Riley's heights, not his tape measure heights, the heights that are stated on Google. That is the claim.
So Miles Davis claims he measured the heights using a laser device. Didn't he previously in the earlier conversation say that he estimated the heights? And now he's saying that he measured them using a laser device. Have I misinterpreted something there, Nathan? Or is he literally nonsense
I haven't seen
lying
that.
again?
Have you seen any data that would suggest he's used a laser? I haven't seen that. Have you seen that?
I have.
No, but
You've seen
he did
that,
say
Alan?
that he.
Hold on.
Yes,
Hold on. Let's see. What have you seen, Alan? Fill us in.
If you look at Ali K's video, he shows the digital measurement tool there.
On Ali K's channel, yeah?
Yes.
Let's try that then.
Can you tell us which video? What's the title?
It was the last one, I think.
Most recent.
Okay,
Cool.
Yes.
All right, Nathan, if you wouldn't mind sharing my screen again, sir.
Yes, no
Let's
problem.
do it live.
Have a look. Wicked.
Okay. Let's see what we get from Al K. His last video. Sun Beneath the Clouds. Is that the one? Or Simply Observations Overview. An hour and 34 minutes.
Yep.
So you want me to go through that for an hour and 34 minutes?
No, I'm sure if
for
you
it.
scan through it, it won't take too long. We'll be able to find a point where he's got a laser on
Quite
it if you
close
just
to the
scan through it.
beginning. There's several stills included.
No, to be real accurate, I think we should take the point of where this video's been taken and use the laser instrument that measures the height of the cloud base above here, which
Right.
I'm guessing is 7,500 feet. And then in the top left of the screen, where the cloud's 500 feet above the horizon, if there's land over there, let's look at an airport over there and see how high the cloud base is over there.
This is excellent. So what? I haven't seen this before. This is the first time I've seen it.
It's been out for weeks.
Now this is the point where Miles.
Are you not keeping up with the flat Earth debate?
Hold on, Alan. You've
Well, hang
pointed
on.
it out. Now we're looking
How
at
long
it.
ago was this?
It's at
30th of
least a
January,
week
like a
ago.
week. All right, it's been on a week. All right, so this is the point where Miles claimed 40 feet. So if this is based at the calculation of 40 feet, I'd like to know what value he gets for this bit. So let's see if he's talking about it.
Old Alan B, keeping you up to date. Crikey.
Yes, thank you, Alan.
Well,
Excellent. First time you've been useful.
Alan Shearing, are we talking about the same
Yeah.
day these measurements are being taken?
well, this is the 40 feet observation height that Miles estimated, but then he says he used a recording device to accurately measure it. Or he didn't say accurately measure it, he just said to measure it with a recording device or a laser device. So
there
I
you
want to know
go
what.
with the one word.
So I want to know what did he get this to? If he gets this to 40 feet in any way, then he's not using the correct feetage because we measured it at 29 feet. We measured where
Hold on,
that guy.
you can roughly scale it just by looking at it, I would say. Would you not agree? Sorry, can you stop laughing a second? If you go back to the original when you had it at ground level, you can. There you go. If you go to this, if you go to the one where he stood next to it, Alan, can you stop laughing, please? Here we go. Well, you can estimate how high he is. 6 feet. You've got one.
No, let's say 5 because I think Al's small.
5.
Based on what I've heard.
10.
So 5,
15.
10,
20 feet.
15. Well, we measured it down to the what you call it?
You got it to
the
29.
rocks.
He's estimated it at 40. He's a mile off.
It's about three and a half times his size there. So he would have to be over 10 foot tall for that to work out.
Right. So basically, this is the lowest observation feet, claimed on Google to be 29 feet. And here's the shore. It's 29 feet. It's exactly what Google says it is.
Oh, so this Nathan, have you accounted for refraction in this picture?
No, that's a good point. Sorry, Alan, can you just dig out the slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena maths so we can account for the refraction in this image, please? Yeah,
there seems to be a bit of looming going on.
That's excellent. So basically, that observation point is exactly 29 feet on Google, and even by a very, very crude estimation, you can see that that's accurate.
Yeah. Now, I want to know, why did he put 40 in when it says 29 on Google and we measured it to be 29? So
you can see it's 29 just by looking at it, just with that there, with him having a pole held up to the height of that hill. You can't even call it a hill, mound. It's not like the massive hill that's blocking your view of the lighthouse. That's a massive hill. That's hundreds of feet high. That thing that stops you from seeing the lighthouse, the thing that Alan can't admit that isn't there, that's a hill in the way. That would definitely block your view. This is just like a little mound of earth by comparison to that. That hill that we don't see, the hill that's not obscuring anything, the one that's blocking your view of the lighthouse, geometrically making it impossible to see on a sphere. Yeah, that's a big hill.
It could have been, Nathan, he could have been at a higher elevation because that pole looked as if it went higher. So he could have been actually, that was above that height, that part of the cliff, but was he not standing on a mound behind it? What are they actually measuring there? Because he could be standing higher up, got his camera at 90 degrees, and he can see the very, very top of the pole. And if you know what I mean, in that kind of perspective, he could actually, the guy that's, the observation height could be higher up behind that cliff. They might use that as an argument. So I don't know actually what they're doing there. Is it the cliff they're measuring,
pretty clear
or
to me.
The height of the observation point? Because they'll know the length of the pole. That pole, right enough. The pole's only 20 odd. Can only be 25 feet, right enough. Yeah. Forget what I said. It was just a thought.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, I've seen so many snapshots of that particular location from Anthony and Ranty that I'm pretty certain where they're standing and what they're doing there. If it
it's the length of the pole. It's actually, it doesn't matter where he's standing. It's the length that we can clearly see. That pole's about 25 feet long, so he wouldn't be measuring anything higher than 25 feet. It was just, I wasn't, thinking right. I was just being over paranoid there.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'd rather play devil's advocate, but we're delighted. I'm really pleased with that. So basically what they've confirmed is that at St. Bees, at least one of the elevations, admittedly the lower one, is absolutely in keeping with what Google Earth states it to be, which was pretty much what Anthony's been asserting this entire time, that we're using the values on Google Earth. That's our claim. If you want to claim they're inaccurate, prove they're inaccurate. Well, so far, they've confirmed that one of the heights at St. Bees is accurate. Google Earth's not a mile off. 30 metres out? Yeah, right.
I'm just trying to find
actually, I think actually that, regarding this kind of experiment, I think ball earthers should actually go out and do more experiments for us. They're just proving a point every time they go out. You know what I mean? It's quite funny.
This is why they took so long releasing the data, and it slipped us by, admittedly, a week ago. Thank you, Alan, for showing us. I am genuinely grateful. But brilliant. That's why they didn't want to release it, because they're claiming a 30-metre discrepancy. Well, if there's a 30-metre discrepancy at the 55 feet observation point, then you've got to understand that within, 200 yards, there's going to be the same discrepancy? And what do you know? It measures just like Google give it as. What a shock. Not that I didn't know that already. So, Alan, what you got to say, my friend? So it seems like Al K has confirmed at least one position is accurate within a few feet of what Google give. So, what have you got to say about that, Alan? Do you still think there's a 30-metre discrepancy at the observation point?
No.
You don't? So
yes.
Would you say that Google Earth's figures are satisfactory to use?
No.
Why? What's wrong with them? Any evidence to suggest they're inaccurate? So far, we've just seen evidence that would confirm that they're pretty close. Would you not agree with that? What we've just shown?
You should watch the whole video and listen to what he says.
We've just watched a part of it that had specifically the pit you wanted us to look at with a laser attached to a pole. And then we've done a very crude, admittedly, guesstimation based on what we could see. And it clearly is not in any way supporting a 30-metre discrepancy. Do you understand that, Alan?
No.
You don't understand it? Yes, I didn't think you would. That's because you're a bit slow.
Ad hominem.
I'll explain it again because you're a bit slow and I'll have to repeat things for the slow people. Not ad hominem, just the fact. You are slow. It is taking twice to repeat exactly the same thing to you. Right? So, Google Earth claims that that position is 29 feet. They've gone and measured it, and by our estimations, it's about 29 feet. So, it is not wildly inaccurate to the tune of 30 metres, 100 feet. We would need to see that 30 feet or 29 feet observation being inaccurate to the tune of 30 metres for that to support the assertion that Google is out by 30 metres. It is most definitely not out by 30 metres. If anything, it's exactly conducive with what they have demonstrated when they physically measured it. That's what we have just seen.
Nathan, do you understand it's plus or minus?
Yes, plus or minus, and then you need to back up that assertion by demonstrating that at any particular point, it is actually plus or minus. We had GeoStreamer give us an example. So he went to Germany, not 200 yards away from the observation position, but several hundred miles away, and showed where there was a discrepancy, where there was two elevations right next to each other that differed. That hasn't happened. What we've had given to us by the guys who went to discredit Anthony, even though it's not his claim, it's Google's, they have confirmed that Google is within a very close margin of error. That's what we've just had demonstrated.
Do you think plus or minus 30 metres is a close margin of error?
No, it's wildly, wildly inaccurate, considering we've just seen a demonstration that shows it to be within a couple of feet.
Show us the video with the tape measure.
There's no need. We've just seen a video given by your side of the argument that demonstrates quite clearly that the heights given on Google match what is quoted and what was measured. Do you disagree with that? Yes or no? Do you disagree that what has been shown by Alkay is confirming the heights on Google Earth at that location?
Well, I don't know what triangulation...
No, you don't know much, do you? Yeah. You're a moron. Tell me again what you don't know and I'll call you a moron. It's been demonstrated. It has been demonstrated by our opposition that the heights given at Google Earth at St. Bees are not inaccurate to the tune of 30 metres. That is what has just been shown by you and your evidence, Alan. That's what you told us to go and look at. And it absolutely confirms that Google's not wildly inaccurate.
Plus or minus 30 metres could mean anything.
No, not plus or minus 30 metres. That's not what they showed. They did not show a 30-metre discrepancy, Alan. That's not what we just witnessed. We witnessed it being about exactly the same.
Sorry, Nathan. Can I just say something before I forget? Right, we have to look at this in the bigger picture. Now what Alan is trying to do is use a flat earther's data, information, evidence to debunk a ball earther's evidence now.
So yeah, you want to see the tape measure to disprove what Alkay's just demonstrated for us quite sufficiently? Is that what you want, Alan? You want the tape measure, do you? This is why we didn't give it. So now we're going to tear Alkay a new asshole with his crap evidence that does not prove in any way that there's a wild inaccuracy to the tune of 30 metres. Thank you, Alkay. Finally, you've shown some intellectual honesty and provided evidence that supports our assertion. Well done, Alkay.
Let's not credit him with intellectual honesty at this point. We need to see the video first, and then. But we know what it should come back with. If he's done it with half an ounce of normality of a human, then we know what it'll come back with because we've already done it numerous times ourselves.
Just give him his intellectual honesty, man. Fuck it. Oh, sorry. Oops. No, it doesn't matter. Give him it. Just give him it. Give him it.
No, we need to be neutral because we haven't seen it. It would be wrong of us to credit him with anything if we haven't seen it, in the same way that it would be wrong of us to discredit him if we haven't seen it. So let's remain impartial. We'll watch it now that we know it's there, and we'll come back to you tomorrow.
No, let's just watch it.
It's an hour and 35 minutes.
Let's skip through it.
Well, I did just do that, and we found the point where he's got the thing up that Miles claimed 40 feet.
I think the longer this image is held up, we can definitely skip through that.
We just need to find the part where. I need Ranty, actually. I don't know where Ranty is. He's normally here, but I need to find the part where Miles quotes himself at 40 feet, and then we'll play Al's video showing that he was at 29 feet. And
I think we would, if we were in any way like the Globe has, in other words, dicks, we'd have a whole string of clips of people saying, here's him at 100 feet, here's him at 120 feet, here's him in excess of 100 feet, because there's a discrepancy, according to Google, of 30 metres, which has absolutely been put to rest today on this show. I am so pleased, so pleased that the guys have gone out and confirmed that Google's not wildly inaccurate. Thank you so much.
Well, hang on, we haven't checked it yet, Nate. Let's not jump.
No, I'm happy to assert that based on what I've just seen. I've just seen them measuring to the top of that height of that hill, which I've seen you guys measure with a tape measure. I know how high it is, you know how high it is, and what's demonstrated in their evidence confirms all of the above. It is what it is. Google Earth's not wildly inaccurate, and they've proved it.
And let's not jump. There may be some obscure interpretation by Al K. So let's just say that he's got something there that we're going to go and consider, and we will consider it, and we'll come back. And hopefully, if he's done it right and he's done it accurately, he'll prove that Miles Davis is a liar. At 40 feet, that observation that he made was complete and utter nonsense, based on an estimation that Google Earth said was 29 feet, which just so happened to be what we measured it at.
What about the screenshot that Ranty released where you could physically see it run out of tape?
There is no screenshot with him running out of tape. What are you talking about?
There's a picture of Ranty with a blue tape measure where he's physically run out of tape.
Can we see the screenshot that you're referring to?
Well, you should ask Ranty. He released it.
You're the one citing it as an evidence. Can we see what you're referring to?
Let's see how quick you can do it. Hold on, Sleeping. So a moment ago you said there was evidence that nicely supports Google Earth, and you were very quick to find it. You told us what the title was and where it was. So tell us where this screenshot is so we can find it just the same.
Ask Ranty.
No, I'm asking you, in the same way as we asked you to find the evidence for Al K, and you did it fairly swiftly, and we found it pretty quickly based on what you told us. Do the same now for this evidence you've cited regarding Ranty having a tape measure run out of tape. Where is it?
On Ranty's hard drive.
Oh, right, so you haven't seen this. This is total nonsense. You are basically lying. You have not seen this at all. You're a liar.
No, I've seen it.
Just a liar. He's just lied through his back teeth. You haven't seen anything. If it's on his hard drive, you haven't seen it. You're a liar.
I've seen it.
So where is it? Where have you seen it? Where is it published?
Ranty published it.
Where? Where is it published?
He was wearing red shoes.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking what he was wearing. I'm asking where it's published, you stupid idiot.
And a brownish coat. The tape was blue.
So where can we see this published?
And you had a blue and white bag.
I don't need to know his outfit. I need to know where it's published so I can see it, cite it, and look at it, like we did with the other evidence you cited and found immediately, and were able to tell us where it was.
It was published on a Google Drive.
Right, so you can't direct us to the Google Drive, or you can just state that it's on a Google Drive as opposed to on his hard drive, which is what you said a second ago. You're just a liar. You're just a liar. Like Jem Panda lying about him being 100 feet in the air when he isn't. A liar. That's what you are, Alan. You've just lied. I know you're lying.
Listen.
No, I'm not going to listen to you, you liar. You're just like Jem Panda and Miles Davis. Just a liar. Simple.
The picture's called Hill Measure Top 1 PNG.
So show it.
Ask Ranty. It's visible.
So if you've seen it, it is published somewhere, right? Or wrong?
I can see it. I'm looking at it now.
So show it.
No.
You're just a liar.
Making assertions about evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
Nope, I can see it. I'm looking at it. It's on a Google Drive.
I can see curvature. Actually, I can see a unicorn. I'm looking out my window right now, and I'm seeing a unicorn.
All I'm hearing is a liar. That's all I'm hearing. Like people like Gem Panda, who I've just lost all respect for, because he just asserts things without having any proof to assert them, and claims other people are lying, and they're not. It's now been demonstrated to my satisfaction that the guys who are asserting he's 100 feet in the air have gone and measured it and know full well he isn't.
Clearly visible, he's run out of tape.
What are you talking about? They're just literally the only thing that's been presented
hang on.
was presented on this show and backs up what Google claim. In terms of elevation, Google's not wildly inaccurate. Now we're moving on to some bullshit claim that Alan's making.
If he'd run out of tape, wouldn't the tape be halfway down the mountain?
There's no more tape on the reel.
Yeah, well, the reel would come off then. The reel would fly off.
Nathan, I think you've been...
Yeah, do you understand that? The reel would fly off. If he had run out, the reel would come off. The tape would come off the reel.
No, it wouldn't. Not if it's correctly
Yeah, it's my
mounted.
tape measure. I think I know how my own tape measure works.
It wasn't your tape measure.
Yes,
not
it was
the one
my
that
tape
you
measure.
showed
I
in
owned
the
it.
group.
Yeah, I owned
It
the
was
tape measure that would come off the 66-foot tape measure that you're claiming you ran out of. That would come off the reel halfway down the hill.
Riley, was it a blue tape measure that you used?
We've used two. We've used the 66 feet one that Nathan gave me.
Was that the blue one?
No, mine has got a yellow sticker on it and is black.
There's a blue. You used a blue one, yes?
We've used a blue one as well, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at.
Right, so can you present it? Show your screen and let's see what you're looking at.
Nope.
Why not?
It's on a Google Drive.
What's he on about?
Okay,
it's
so
just lying.
Can you present the link? Can you present the link and we'll click the link right now and we'll do it.
I'm not sure that. I think the link is for Ranty's Google Drive. I'm not sure whether I should present that.
If it's a public drive, you can present it. Notice how we're just running around in circles now, while Alan asserts something that he has no proof to back up. So when it came to Al K's evidence, immediately we were on the video watching it. Now we're dancing around with Alan and his lies.
Not a lie.
Well, then provide some evidence, Alan. Like you did with Al K, you made an assertion, then immediately we were watching a video, as opposed to now, where you've made an assertion and you're just saying, no, I'm not going to show it. Well, Google, or, well, it's on a Google Drive. Well, Ranty can show it. You've got every excuse under the sun with this assertion. Whereas with your last assertion, we were immediately watching a video. That's how it went down.
Was Ranty wearing reddish shoes?
Who cares what he was wearing? Show us a video with a tape that's run out and run off the reel.
The only person that would notice what shoes a bloke was wearing would be somebody that's of the opposite sexual orientation, because they notice what shoes people wear. Normal people do not notice it.
Yeah.
Why would anybody notice the shoes?
I'm looking at the picture. I'm trying to prove to you that I'm looking at the picture from the day.
Click screen share. Click screen share. Top left. Green button. Click screen share.
Dark grey trousers. And
screen share it.
An olive jacket with a blue tape in his hand. And on the floor to the left is a blue and white bag.
So what? What are you trying to prove?
Actually, I'm going to call you on that. I don't think Ranty was wearing red shoes on that day. So either you're looking at something else.
They're reddish.
So you're looking at either something else, or you're not. You're either guessing, or you're not looking at what you think you're looking at.
Just lying.
I heard it was
I'm sick of this conversation.
Out
I'm
of
sick of it.
Marks and Spencer's.
He's not provided any proof. He's just asserting stuff without any evidence and claiming he's got it and won't show it. So I'm just not interested anymore.
I'm going to go out and say that Ranty was wearing white trainers on the day, not red. So either you're looking at something else, or you're lying, or guessing.
No.
Yeah, well, that's the end of that conversation.
Yeah, it is.
I'm actually going to accept that he has got a photograph there.
I'm not. Ranty was wearing not red shoes. I know what colour shoes Ranty was wearing. He was wearing white trainers.
It could also be you.
Hey P, how you doing?
It's a good
I just
description.
want to say, if anyone suffers from depression, you can PM P Mars. I'm here for you.
I'm cheered up already.
Anthony, how about we make a deal? I'll show you the picture if you release the metadata.
Thanks, Pete Mars.
No, the deal on the table for the metadata is that if Jeremy retracts and apologises for his nonsense abuse of me about lying about the observer height, and Alk or Miles, whoever owns the video, shows what he actually did capture at Isle of Man with regards at St. Bees with regards to Isle of Man. That's the offer on the table.
Come on,
I'm not
make
bothered
it
about
your
I'm not bothered about your evidence, dude, because I know that Ranty was wearing white trainers. So whatever you're looking at is not the same thing. You've either got something wrong, you're misidentifying something, or you're just making it up.
No, it's true. I don't tell lies.
Well, I'm calling you a liar. You've either got it wrong somehow, or you're looking at something else, or you've not even got it at all.
Yeah, I'm calling you a liar too, and also what we have had presented in terms of measurements at St. Bees. Thank you. Alan took us there very swiftly when he made the assertion, and it backed up what Google had to say. They definitely didn't demonstrate any 30-metre discrepancy.
Plus or minus.
Not plus or minus
30.
anything. They didn't demonstrate any discrepancy at all.
Al, do you realise what plus or minus 30 metres means?
Yep.
Okay. Just talk us through what it actually means in relation to the claim of 35 feet of observer height.
So you want
the
me
parameters?
to do maths?
No, I want you to explain to me plus or minus 30 metres in relation to the 35 feet observer height. What does it actually mean?
What do you think it means?
We want you to explain. That's what he's asking you, Alan. He's saying, please can you tell the audience and us what you mean when you say yes, plus or minus 30 metres?
What do you think the discrepancy is, plus or minus?
Well, I'm just making sure that you understand the context of what you're claiming, because you're claiming it as though it's a debunk, but in actual fact, it makes it worse for you, not better.
Nope.
All right, I'll do it for you then. Let's start with the 35 feet in meters is around about 10. 3.3 meters to a foot to a 3.3 feet in a meter. So 35 feet is just over 10 meters, right?
Google is so plus or minus 30 meters.
It's all right, Alan. He gave you an opportunity to explain it, and you didn't take the opportunity. Now he's doing it for you.
So 35 feet in meters is about 10. So plus or minus 30 feet. Plus or minus 30 meters on 10 gives you a value of minus 20 meters below the surface of the Earth, or plus 40 meters. That's what we are talking about with that correction.
What it means is there could be a discrepancy of 0, or a 30-meter discrepancy, or
but that's not plus or minus. No, but that's not plus or minus, is it?
That's not plus or minus. That's just plus.
Correct. And you're citing it plus or minus, Alan, as though it's some kind of debunk. But in actual fact, it makes your position worse, because that would mean we would have to be 20 meters below the surface of the Earth for your claim of inaccuracy to be relevant. And as GeoStreamer showed, there was no evidence to support that assertion in this instance.
I wish I could share the photograph with you.
Yeah, I wish you would understand that GeoStreamer has demonstrated that 30-meter discrepancy he can find. There are instances in Google where there is a discrepancy of 20 meters, as demonstrated by GeoStreamer. However, at the beach at St. Bees, there seems to be no evidence in Google to demonstrate any sort of discrepancy to account for. Also, we have literally on this stream seen evidence that seems to support the height that Google quotes.
Okay, so on that silence, Nath, I'm going to ask you another question. This is the same question, but in a different way from another person. They're obviously not understanding how evidence works here, how assertions based on evidence works. But Darkstar he says, you guys need to condense your arguments and provide supporting evidence if you want to convince people. Do you want to respond to that again, Nathan? Because you do it really quite eloquently, and I quite like listening to you explain it to dumb people like Darkstar.
Yeah, sure. So if you make an assertion that Google says you're at 29 feet, the way you back that up with evidence is to go to Google and demonstrate that Google has the number 29 and the value feet next to where you point your mouse.
Correct. I agree completely. But then there was the claim that Google Earth could be up to plus or minus 30 meters inaccurate on the elevation. So who needs to provide evidence for that assertion? Is it the ballers making the assertion, or is it us checking it?
Or Google stating it?
Nah, but Google stating it doesn't mean it's accurate, does it? Yes, we accepted it, and that's why we tested it. But who needs to present the evidence? Is it the ballers to assert their assertion to be accurate and applicable in this case? Or is it us testing to see whether it's accurate or not?
Well, according to Chris Monk's maths, a 30-meter discrepancy equals 30,000 kilometers.
Can you show evidence for that, please?
Yeah, go back and watch your own video, lazy sod.
So that would be a no.
So that would be a subject change by Alan. So, Alan, do you understand that GeoStreamer demonstrates that the reason Google give a 30-meter discrepancy is because you can find evidence of literally within a movement of your wrist on a mouse, a difference in 20 meters. That can be demonstrated in Germany. However, there is no demonstrable discrepancy at St. Bees, and there are individuals who have gone back and thankfully confirmed, as we knew they would, that the heights given are pretty much accurate in terms of how high you are versus when you measure it. That's been demonstrated on this show. So you can continue to claim that the 30-meter discrepancy should be applied in this instance, but we will simply refer people to this hangout so they can see Alkay measuring it.
I can see Ranty measuring it right now. He's run out.
Fascinating. Does it in any way support a 30-meter discrepancy?
Yes.
Right. Why does it support a 30-meter discrepancy, Alan?
He's run out of tape.
What is he doing when he's run out of tape?
It's just nonsense. I'm sick of hearing it. We've had a demonstration now. Al is just lying.
Well, the thing is, Nathan, just picture this, right? If he's claiming that that Ranty's run out of tape whilst doing the measurements, it would indicate that he's got a picture of Ranty looking up the cliff from the bottom, and he's trying to reach the tape measure because it's run out of tape, and he can't reach it because he's run out of tape. That's the image that I've got in my head. However, given that he claims that he's got red shoes on, or slightly red, or whatever description it was, indicates that the tape might be ruched up in a mess at the top of the hill or the bottom of the hill, and therefore would not be measuring anything. And to be run out of tape in that circumstance isn't really representing what you see accurately. Why can't you show the picture that you're referring to so that we can tell you what you're looking at?
Just ask Ranty. He has the picture. On his Google Drive. He'll measure top.
I don't need to ask Ranty. I've seen it on this hangout done by Alkay and Miles Davis. We've physically seen it already. So now you're literally doing as Ali B has suggested, which is to suggest that Anthony has gone out and acquired evidence that debunks the globe Earth evidence, which has literally been demonstrated on this stream. That's what you're claiming with absolutely nothing to back it up. It is preposterous. You've got nothing to back up any of your assertions whatsoever. What we have seen demonstrated on this show is a demonstration that backs up Google's claim in terms of their height above sea level. That's what we've seen. And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and sharing this debate. If you've not done so already, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.